Probably one of the most influential and life-changing sentences ever uttered was when God said, "Let us make man in our own image." That moment kick-started our existence on this earth as humans. Several verses later, God created the first woman, Eve, to accompany the man, Adam. Now, we don't know a lot about the Garden of Eden, where they lived, but we know that it was perfect. They were living in perfect harmony with God. They had complete control over the garden and the animals, and were only told that they could not eat from the fruit of the tree of good and evil. As many of us know, that wasn't a command that they could keep, as they eventually succumbed to the temptation of Satan and ate from the tree. What happened as a result transformed the world as we know it. From that moment on, sin entered the world and would continue to have its grip on humanity from then even until now. The consequences for Adam and Eve were immediate. You can read in Genesis chapter 3 the curses handed down to Satan and the consequences for Adam and Eve, which included pain in childbirth and having to work from the ground. God also told them that they would, upon their death, return to the very dust that they were formed. Because of that one choice that they made, physical death was now a reality. But we also read that spiritual death was now a reality. Now that sin is a part of the equation, man could not be in the presence of God. Romans 5 tells us that because of this sin, we are all affected as it passes along to offspring. Sounds pretty depressing, right? However, if you read Genesis 3 a little closer, you will see within the sentences of condemnation a glimmer of hope, the hope for a Savior. Amongst the curses that God lays out on Satan, God says this, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." The offspring that he is referencing is Jesus, who would be in the lineage of Adam and Eve many years later. When Jesus died on the cross and experienced physical death, that is the striking of the heel that is referenced. However, when Jesus rose from the dead, we now have victory forever in heaven. Satan will then experience eternal doom. We'll talk about this later. And that is the crushing of the head. How amazing is that? Are you conscious of the sin in your life? Are you excusing it as normal? Sin is something that needs to be addressed as just that. God does not tolerate it, and neither should we. Even when Adam and Eve deliberately sinned before God, and then in the midst of his punishment to them, he already had a plan for redemption in place. There will forever be a battle between good and evil, between us and our sinful desires. As humans, we are created in God's image, fallen, and the objects of redemptive love.